And welcome back to the Door Boys Dynasty Football Podcast. Ryan, say what's up to the people.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the show. This is the mock draft number 4 of our series. We're going to try to knock out as many as we can until the NFL draft starts. Still working on getting this ADP article out by around draft time. Because we know some leagues start their rookie drafts like the day after the NFL draft ends. Some don't, but we're going to try and get it before that mark. Nonetheless, Steven, got anything for the people today?
No, just excited to be back, man. Today, mock draft. Tomorrow, interview with a special guest. So, feel free to tune in for that. We got an exciting one. Hey, Snug, shout out for you, man. Thank you, guys. We appreciate it for everybody being in here and for everybody. What's the word I'm looking for? Participating tonight. After that, Ryan and I, we got one more QB to really cover to sit down and break down. JJ McCarthy.
Finally get to JJ McCarthy. It's about time.
Yeah, dude, the grind has been crazy at this time, boys. So we've been doing a lot. We've been enduring a lot. We've been doing this ADP article. We've been doing these rankings. We've been going above and beyond this year, and we love it. So I just want to say shout out to you, man. Thank you for putting in all the work you do on your side. And, we appreciate it, guys. And without further ado, let's get it rolling.
Yeah, same to you, dude. For others that are following us, Steven's got his first thread out of the year. We both just upgraded premium, so we're going to have a lot more content on the Twitter page. His handle's right there. Excuse me. Right there. He's got a pretty good thread out there for Troy Franklin if anybody's interested.
Yeah, I just want to say that I'm a little scared. Over 32,000 people have seen this tweet. It's got over 30 bookmarks. I'm sure Fantasy Receipts is one of these people. I love Troy Franklin. So do you. So let's pray to the good Lord that this pans out for us.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have him solidified as my 4 like you do. I don't know. The offseason's been weird. The combine changed a few things for me, but I still think he sits comfortably in that 4 or 5 range for me. Right. We could get beat on it, but I mean, he's falling down people's rankings like crazy. I think he was 4 or 5 around that area for consensus. Yes. But after the combine, you saw Brian Thomas run a crazy 40 time, Xavier Worthy. A few guys really shined, and Troy Franklin kind of got faded out of it a little bit. So we'll see. We'll see how it plays out for us.
Yeah, I just want to say, guys, before we get started, we got a couple minutes. Troy Franklin, in this post, I go heavy analytics. Heavy analytics.
Thanks,
and it took me a lot of time to find all the research and stuff, but it played everything I was saying played well into his film. I can't stress it enough that the tape will tell you a lot.
Yep.
And when you see the success on tape and analytically, people come back and they shine from an analytic standpoint as well. It just makes you feel good to know that when you grinded that tape, your flag was planted on that player, and it all comes together. It's all coming together here, boys.
Yep. Nonetheless, we got all but 2 people here, so let's get this thing rolling, brother. What you waiting for?
So again, my boy, we had to give shout out to a huge fan of ours. Also, we're also a huge fan of his. All right, but let's get rolling.
Way before he's a fan of us, but I'm glad
way before. I'm waiting on your brother. I'm waiting on your brother there, buddy.
He was just in here 2 seconds ago. He's here.
He's here. All right, draft's on, boys.
Got 3-minute timer. Everybody was just here except for Boomer and Shadowcat. I know that's – yep, there you go. Told you he was here.
Your brother likes doing this spicy shit.
He's not afraid, dude. I'm telling you.
He's not
got
afraid.
His takes, and he's not backing off of them.
Nope. So here I am. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't really think I should have to explain this pick, everybody. Let's just be honest here. We're going to walk into the best situation possible for any – rookie QB in quite some time. On top of being a generational standpoint player, we also have one of the best situations fundamentally. The addition to Keenan Allen, DJ Moore's there. Then you have, the 9th overall pick. A lot of upgrades going into the Chicago Bears team that I really like to see.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Caleb Williams got another if he wasn't already like the consensus 101, he gets Keenan Allen on top of DJ Moore, and they also added DeAndre Swift. Still looking to add a little bit to that O-line, but it's getting a little bit better. We're getting there. But he's walking into certainly a pretty solid situation. I think they made was.
I'm also going to say this. Malik Nabers is my consensus 1-3. I'm not touching any QB. It's going to be Malik Nabers. Again, we have went into it and we have really studied these wide receivers, and you know how much I like Malik Nabers. For what I talk about Troy Franklin, if I did a thread on Malik Nabers, I'd do one. It'd be an hour long.
Now, I was going to say, I feel like for a while now, we've been speaking of Marvin Harrison and Malik Nabers as 1A, 1B for quite a while now. He's creeping up boards, man. I mean, I think Jayden Daniels, for the most part, should probably be third off the board, especially in super flexes. And you get the upside, but Nabers is creeping up there for me. I know you're not a big Daniels guy, but a lot of people really are in on Daniels for the rushing upside that he comes with. I mean, you just saw, even though he didn't get a contract, he got traded. Justin Fields, not a great passer, but was still a great fantasy asset to own.
And now he's a backup.
It doesn't matter. I mean, if you owned him for 4 years, you probably...
It does matter. It matters, bro.
You buy yourself a 4-year window with these rookies, is all I'm saying. Whether they work out or not is a different story, but you buy yourself a 4-year window.
Listen, bro, if you shoot for the moon and you miss and you land on the stars, guess what? Let's go for a QB that finds a 10-year deal in the league.
So, theoretically speaking here, like what quarterback do you think can actually start for 10 years this year if they're really looking for help at the super flex position?
Caleb and Drake.
Drake Maye.
I love Drake Maye.
Is a 10-year starter?
Again, you have to believe in the talent. You have to believe in the situation. You have to believe in the player. My flags are playing in this class, bro. My flags have been playing. You know this. Me and you have this conversation every single day. Every single day.
You're not wrong. Respectfully, I'm a little bit undersold. I mean, I will say I like Drake Maye, right? Fine prospect. But the more I look into it, the more I'm like, okay, his release times, not great. His pro day was a little rough, especially on deep balls.
Did you know, fun fact, that from 2022 to 2023, there was only one QB with a 90-plus PFF passing grade for intermediate throws, 20-plus yards down the field? Do you know who that QB is? That's Drake Maye. That's Drake Maye.
The intermediate passes? So we're talking like an Alex Smith type level quarterback?
20-plus yards down the field, intermediate to deep.
Which is how far? What's the
20-plus yards down the field?
That's I would consider that deep ball. Boomer,
it's intermediate to deep.
Shout out to Boomer, who's the first time in these mock drafts and is autoing. Now I respect. Thanks for joining everything, but gotta show up, man. Gotta show up.
Oh, come on, dude.
That should happen.
Yeah, anyway, so you got Odunze off the board, which is probably the pick there anyway.
My boy Reeves, I do not know how I feel about Jayden yet. Thank you. I appreciate that. Stand strong. Take Brock Bowers here, please.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for letting me announce my pick. I appreciate that.
It's the easiest pick in the world, bro.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. I've been taking risky picks in these mock. Well, not risky picks, but I've been bouncing on these boards every time we do a mock, and I think if you're inside the top 7 this year, you're pretty solid. Now you may not agree because of your takes on Jayden Daniels.
I'm gonna take Jayden Daniels in the top 7 if it plays out that way.
Yeah. So we didn't mock this as a tight end premium. So obviously you see Brock Bowers fall at a 1.7. I still think that's a solid pick there. But in tight end premium, where are you taking Brock Bowers? Does he move up into that 1.5 spot where Odunze's at, or does he kind of stay in that 6.7 range?
I mean, it's tough. Tight end premium. I've no matter what, tight end premium or not, I'm taking Malik and Marvin over Brock Bowers. 100%. That's not a question.
Sure.
Caleb, those 3 right there. Honestly, I think you consider Brock Bowers and 1.4. I think Brock Bowers becomes a real conversation at that pick. Again, I'm a big Drake Maye fan, so I know where I would go with the pick. I think Brock Bowers realistically should be a 1.5 pick, but I think you really start having that conversation with yourself at 1.4.
Yeah, for sure. Man, Jayden Daniels. Listen, man, Seth's got you beat on this one. I hope he's watching, but like you got beat on Anthony Richardson last year, and he's not even close to as good a passer as Jayden Daniels is this year. So
right, but again,
we'll see. We'll see. But I will say Jayden Daniels is not even close to the athlete that Anthony Richardson is. So.
Right, and we're also talking about a QB who, for a slim, slender frame, and we talked about it the other day, he
gets beat up. He absolutely gets beat up.
Yeah, he's not known to shy away from contact, which is a scary thing for a QB like that. And at times he's not perfect by any means. He's not perfect. And you know, I think if you were going to evaluate the tape and you can pull this tape, honestly, like I said, give me the 2022 tape with Drake Maye over this year's tape.
Yeah.
Drake Maye is a phenomenal QB, man. Phenomenal QB.
Yeah.
People forget how much he lost from 2022 going into 2023. People don't want to talk about it. People don't want to talk about those things. And the injury, he was injured this year as well. People forget about that. He battled lower ankle injuries, and he played through it.
Yeah,
it's not 100% fair. He still performed at an elite level. Yep. He was.
I will say, just for all those that are waiting here in the stream with us, this is SC. He did warn us he might miss his first pick. He's probably driving home from work right now.
I bet
he might miss this pick. He'll probably be here next round.
See, my boy agrees. He agrees.
Drake Maye QB too. Hey, listen, I'm all for it. I'm just here for the conversation.
You're not here for it. You're just trying to peek. You're just trying to get my
come on.
Always. Gotta get the blood flowing. We have a video out there for Drake Maye. For those who actually want to hear both of our takes on Drake Maye, there's a whole video for it. I think we did a phenomenal job on that. Yeah, go watch that, and you'll really see how I feel about him. I still like Drake Maye a lot.
Damn, your brother couldn't let me get Troy Franklin, could he? Just wasn't possible.
Not possible. I mean, to be fair, I think that you can argue Mitchell, but Franklin, Mitchell.
No, I think 4, 5, 6 is pretty locked in between Troy Worthy and Brian Thomas. Odunze being my 7, but at this point, there's a couple of receivers that have really flown up my boards that I'm really in love with. So I want to see if they last. But here's where I'm going to actually start the running back run. I'm going to go with Jonathan Brooks here.
So
again, I've been doing a lot of research on Brooks, a lot of film study. One of a few running backs. There's only 2 running backs in the last 3 years that had a 90+ PFF rushing grade, but also a 75+ receiving grade. And at that last year, at one point, he was scoring a touchdown on every 14 carries. Be noted that Bijan's junior season, he was scoring on every 16 touches. Obviously, I'm not saying he's Bijan Robinson because I'm not, but I just want to say there are things that stand out about Jonathan Brooks' profile. I think he's a very well-rounded do-it-all back. I'm floating between him and Trey Benson right now in a mock draft. I'm obviously going to go upside because this isn't the real pick. I think when it comes down to it on the real draft day, I'm still going to take Trey Benson. But right now, I'm really in love with Jonathan Brooks and what I'm watching.
I'm just tagging this guy real quick. Yeah. The running back class this year is so tough. I think, honestly, this is just my take. If you really need a running back, I would just skip. Just skip this year. Next year's class is absolutely loaded with talent. And I get that it's hard to wait on a running back, but I think this year the position to target 100% is receiver. I wouldn't go reaching for a running back in this class. There's not one that really screams out to me as I could point to him and say that's going to be a multi-year starter. That's just me. I don't know where you're at with these running backs, but I would much rather just wait the year and have a shot at a Nick Singleton or Judkins, Travion Henderson, Ollie Gordon. The list goes on. I like next year's class a whole lot more.
Bro. Listen, 2025 running back class is about to change the landscape. 100%. 100%. But also remember, there's 3 elite level prospect wide receivers in that class too. The 2025 class for, going into the draft is crazy. crazy. Obviously, I don't know what the QB class is going to look like next year. I think somebody will probably shine and pave their way to the top like they always do, like you said.
Yeah.
But it doesn't stand out like this class, right?
Absolutely.
So how many of the first 10 picks are going to be running backs, wide receivers? Well, I have 6 running backs that are first-round grades for next year. Huge fan of this class. You already mentioned one, Quinshawn.
Yep.
You got Nick Singleton. You got Travion. You got Ollie Gordon. You got Ashton Jeedy. You got Damian Martinez. You got 6 running backs that truly stand out as future studs.
Yeah.
But again, if you're running back needy, I don't think this class is as bad as what people are making it out to be. I think you're going to have 3 day 2 running backs.
Mm-hmm.
I really do. Jonathan Brooks, Trey Benson, Blake Corum. They're fine second-round picks. They're perfect second-round picks.
Yep.
I'm not saying reach for the one that gets drafted to the Dallas Cowboys. I'm not saying take one in the top 8 picks of this class. I'm not saying that because that's not where this class is. This class is wide receiver and QB heavy.
Yep.
Well, then you got Brock Bowers.
Oh, well, this is interesting. So my pick survives. I'm a little bit surprised here. I guess I'm like one of a few people that's still on the Blake Corum train. I get he's a little undersized, but he's also built pretty strong. I like Corum here at the 2.7. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think it'll be fine in the NFL level. And well, I shouldn't project landing spots because that's tough, right? You don't really want to do that in these mock drafts. But if he ends up linked to the Chargers with his college coach, he's probably going to want to run more in the NFL level as well. I think that's a knockout of the park. Now, obviously, you never know, right? I'm not going to sit here and tell you today that Blake Corum's locked in to the Chargers because he's not. But dream scenario, as of today, Blake Corum 2.7, feel comfortable with it.
Absolutely. Great pick. Again, this is a guy that we comp to be like a Doug Martin, J.K. Dobbins type running back. I really do think that he can handle that workload in the NFL. I really am not scared of Blake Corum. We pointed out his injury history at Michigan. It's not great. It stands out as a red flag, but obviously, still production. He still produced at Michigan. He played on a Natty championship winning roster, a big part of what they wanted to do, and he controlled the game. At a point, I thought Donovan Edwards might be the better running back, but was completely wrong.
I was getting ready to say a lot of people kind of brushed Corum off even 2 years ago in 23 or 22, I guess, excuse me, and said that Donovan Edwards was going to take over that backfield and Corum was toast, and he maintained that job. Sure, Donovan Edwards was still involved in that offense, but I think was part of their plan all along, was to kind of run heavy, let JJ control what he can control, and run the ball as much as they can.
Yeah, absolutely.
Corum still
balled. At one point, down major stretches of the game, we're talking about the Big Ten championship. We're talking about, Ohio State weekend. We're talking about those big key weekends. Notice who was on the field. Notice who wasn't on the field for the Wolverines.
Yeah.
It wasn't Donovan Edwards. He wasn't on the field. It was Blake Corum in big-time game situations.
Yep. Back into the second round, we see 3 receiver runs go. We got Coleman, Leggett, and Pearsall. All 3, I'm still undecided on. Out of that group of 3, who do you feel – oh, it's your pick. I'm sorry. I'll let you pick, and then we can go from there.
If you want I have it Leggett, then Pearsall, but there's a guy I have before both, and I'm going to take him right now.
Javon Baker. That is your guy.
Yes, sir. Huge fan of Javon Baker. Really been doing some deep film study from him down at UCF. Just becoming a bigger fan of this dude. He has cracked my top 8 in this rookie class.
He's got the tools to succeed, to be honest.
Oh, yeah, that dude's nasty.
Yeah. For what it's worth, we're taking Odunze or Ladd over Worthy. Wow.
Yeah, again, guys, I've just become a huge fan of Javon Baker. After your consensus top 7, Marvin Harrison, Malik Nabers, Odunze, Troy, Brian Thomas, Xavier Worthy, and Adane, It's up in the air. Could be McConkey. You know what I mean? A lot of.
Let's say you like
McConkey.
Baker over Ladd.
It's tight. I mean, like I said, as I dive more into this kid's film, I just become a huge fan. But I think you have to keep letting the dip happen.
I just got sniped.
Look at the receivers that went behind or in front of Javon Baker. We're talking about a wide receiver who I have a wide receiver 8, and we're looking at wide receiver what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Wide receiver 12. You're getting 4 wide receiver discount. That's a huge discount. Keep eating the discount.
Yeah.
Why not?
So I'm left. I just got sniped. I wasn't expecting to get sniped. With Roman Wilson. I'm actually pretty high on Roman Wilson, especially at this spot in the middle of the mid to late third round. So I'm gonna go with the guy that played opposite of Odunze this year. I'm gonna go Jalen Polk here. This is actually my first appearance of him in a mock. I haven't really had the opportunity to feel comfortable drafting him, but right here I feel pretty good about it. Also, another player that I'm looking forward to doing a rookie profile on, to be honest. But that being said, we have a lot of people to get through before we get to Polk. But
yeah, another big fan, the kid out of UVA. Huge fan of Malik Washington.
Malik Washington,
I was
as well.
seeing where he was going to go as well. Huge fan of Malik Washington. Big fan of that run right there. Roman Wilson, Jalen Polk, Malachi Corley, and Malik Washington.
Not bad for the third round. Any of those guys.
No, not at all. That's a little late for Malachi, to be honest.
Corley, dude, I love Corley's tape. I like what I see out of him. But God bless. He reminds me so much of the way Treylon Burks was used in Arkansas, and I don't want to get burned like that again, man. I don't. And I get that it's a way better value in the third round, but
right. Again, ladies and gentlemen, my 4th round flag has been planted. My boy Theo. My boy Theo Johnson.
You love that boy Theo, man.
Theo Johnson, tight end out of Penn State, baby.
You think that's a little bit of Penn State bias, or you see a little something in this tape?
No, I love his athleticism. Sometimes I think the tight end position, when you're scouting it, you should be scouting from an athletic standpoint. I think a tight end position is a position where it's honestly taught in the NFL. Notice that not many tight ends come in and just instantly ball. Obviously, you don't see 1,000-yard tight ends like you do Kyle Pitts. You don't see Sam Laporta's very often. You don't see those guys. I think it's a game where you learn it on the fly. And I want one of the more athletic tight ends. After Brock Bowers, Theo Johnson is the most athletic tight end in this class.
Yeah.
He had a RAS score of 997.
I mean, that's wild.
Yes.
I won't be drunk. But I think Jatavian Sanders, for what it's worth, has that real like NFL size build that you want for the league.
Yeah. I like Jatavian Sanders. He's my tight end too.
Yeah.
I think he has an overall mix and an overall game that's going to stand out. And, he may have a bigger role earlier on. From a 4th round standpoint, you're not going to get a more athletic player than Theo Johnson.
Yeah.
Maybe Will Shipley. I ain't gonna lie to you. Maybe Will Shipley, but he's pretty good.
Man, Estime keeps popping up in these mock drafts, man. We'll see how he does in the league. I just think he's like destined for like the AJ Dillon role in offense, to be honest with you. I don't think it'll be more than that. Big non-sleeper McMillan. Yeah, McMillan in the 4th round is one of the guys I was hoping is going to fall to me here. For those, they're chatting up in there, but McMillan's going to be a steal in these drafts. If you can get him the front of the 4th round, even in the mid, he goes here is great. But here's a guy that I've kind of planted my flag on as far as tape goes. Looked great in the Senior Bowl. Solid throughout. Give me at this point Cowan, who like the more I get into it, the more I'm kind of getting into the idea of him.
Good pick.
And I think he could be another 4th round kind of like sneaky pick there.
Yeah, it was between like where you were at. It was between him or running back Ray Davis for me right there. Good pick.
I'm not going on Ray Davis, but I'm not done with his profile yet. So for now, give me Cowing. But I don't think Davis is a bad pick either.
I do like Jake. I like Jake Cowing a lot. I like Luke McCaffrey as well, honestly. Maybe Spencer Rattler.
End it with Mr. Irrelevant Spencer Rattler.
Let's get it.
All right. Per usual. Well, first of all, if you guys are watching in stream, thank you for dropping with us. We appreciate you.
Yeah, everybody here. Thank you guys so much.
We'll probably be back again with another of these next week. A lot of names in here that we've kind of like built around. Snoog has been great with us. Reese, I've been in contact with him for a while since we started this.
A lot of the RPO boys are in here.
Yeah, a lot of RPO guys in here.
Thank you for showing up, guys. Some Scott Fishbowl hopefuls. It was a big group chat last year for the Scott Fishbowl. We still are in contact with them all the time. A couple of those guys are in here. Thank you so much. Ryan, go ahead. Tell me if there's anything that you want to that stands out to you in this class here.
Honestly, well, are you talking about this class or like the draft board?
The mock draft, the draft board. Anything that stands out for you as a great value, things like that.
Well, if we're being honest, the way this board fell, I think it's kind of like the cleanest board we've had of the four. I don't really think there's like any crazy value anywhere. I think people went where I thought they would. Well, listen, you hate him. I guess Jalen Wright's not really a value there, but I still like him at the 31 spot. I know you're not sold on him, but if he can figure out that vision issue he's got going on, he's going to be good, man. And then nobody really reached either. Like this board's like the cleanest of the four we've done. Do you have any thoughts on anybody here?
Yeah, I don't see an extreme reach. You just know that me and you have talked about this. Keon Coleman is on my do not draft list. He's one of those players that I'm not drafting. But 2.8, we saw him go 2.1 the other night, and that was a little high for me. Well, I'm going to say a little high, extremely high. But 2.8, not as bad.
Yeah.
But again, not a player that I'm drafting, not a player that I'm looking to target or to acquire in any drafts. But this is definitely a really clean board.
Yeah. I will say Leggett, who has came into the scene late, projected very well at the combine. He's been sneaking up boards. He was fourth, third. Now he's snuck into the back end of the second. I don't think I was ready for him to be in the back end of the second. I kind of wanted him to be a steal in the third round, but he's rising up boards as he should. I mean, he's a beast. The only thing that concerns me with him is just the late college production. It's not something you never really want to see.
I also want to say this. I think Jatavian Sanders in the third round is a hell of a pick.
Yeah, well, this is a non-tight end premium. You get all these beautiful, pretty names. The only thing, I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of Bo Nix, but it is super flex. So I guess if you're like in need of a quarterback, you're gonna take any shot you can get, especially in the third round. I mean, the hit rate in the third, fourth round is not very high. Plus, if it's a tight end premium, we're probably seeing Sanders go in to the back end of the second for sure.
Yep. Braylon Allen at 310 also stands out to me as well.
Yeah. Well, this is all pre-landing spot. I think the running back landscape will change drastically after the draft is over. But for now, yeah, I think this board fell the way I expected it to.
It's a pretty clean board.
I'm just looking through it. Yeah, it's clean. It's probably pretty close to ADP, and if it isn't, it's pretty close.
Sure. Again, one time before I get out of here and stop sharing the board, screenshots, please. I appreciate that.
Yep, all over it. Hold on. All right, we're good. I got it.
Appreciate you, brother. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have appreciated you hanging out with us for this last half hour. It's always a good time to come in here and talk football with everybody, to have the audience we do. We appreciate everybody that came in to participate in the draft. Again, as always, we appreciate our sponsors, Yards Per and RPO Football. We love you guys so much. Everything you do for us, we appreciate it.
Yeah, especially, and once again, we can't emphasize this enough. Thank you for those that come into these mock drafts with us, that come in to support us. It would kill me and Steven both. And when we first started doing these mocks, we had auto drafters in here just so we can get the content out. Now we live in a world where we have, I feel like, a community around us that's helping us be able to do things like this, do mock drafts, do creator content with other people. super grateful that we've kind of carved ourselves into the community here. And thanks to everybody that participated. And I'll see you guys in the leagues, baby.
Also, Brian and I, we discussed earlier, we do have an interview with a special guest tomorrow night. That will not be live on YouTube. That will be live strictly on Twitter.
Yep.
So tune into that. Also, I just want to say this, Ryan, congratulations. It is the biggest live stream podcast we've ever had. We currently have 416 live viewers.
What's up, people?
Just want to say that. Thank you guys so much. We appreciate all the support here. Ryan, anything you want to say before we get out of here?
That's it. Once again, if you tuned in, we appreciate you. If anybody that was viewing wants to join in, we'll tweet leaks out next time. We're going to get these rolling. And once again, yeah, thanks to Alex and Leo for giving us the platforms that we have. That's about all I got.
All right. On that note, guys, we are out.